episode of the SoFLo Sports Show, episode 141. Eventually, I'm going to stop counting, but let's at least get to 150. It's your host, 305 Sports Babe, and tonight on a very special episode of the SoFLo Sports Show, we have Ian, Big E, and Mike from DolphinsTalk going to be joining me in just a second. Catch you guys up on a few things. The show took a little hiatus the last few weeks. March Madness was able to go up to DC to see the Johnnies in the Sweet 16. Guys, it hasn't happened in a very long time, so definitely took advantage of that and had a wonderful time up there. Unfortunately, we were knocked out by Duke, and Ian, we'll talk about it in a little, but it was like bittersweet for him, but I know he was kind of cheering for the Johnnies as well. So we'll talk about that. In other news, the Miami Heat are like stuck in the middle. Obviously, they're not seen anymore. They're not going to the playoffs. They're out, right? Charlotte knocked them out last night in the play-in tournament, but they're still stuck in this middle position. The Panthers fell off after their championship run, and the Marlins are just really trying to figure out who they are. So it's really weird to be in this position in mid-April. It's April 15th. As a reminder, your taxes are due today, so make sure you get them in. But as a Miami sports fan, with the Heat not seeing postseason basketball, the Panthers are not going for a three-peat, and the Marlins are just trying to, again, figure out their identity. It's a weird time right now in South Florida sports. Are any of our teams, talking about the Heat, the Marlins, and the Panthers, are they close to being contenders, or are they're pretty much mediocre? There's a lot that we have to really figure out down here in South Florida sports. So without further ado, most of you probably tune in tonight because we have a special raffle that we're going to do in just a little bit. We have to talk about the Dolphins because there's always something going on with the Miami Dolphins. And next week is the 2026 draft. So I have my friends that we're going to talk about it. But if you are here to see the big love for Big E raffle, stay tuned. That's coming out. So without further ado, let me bring on my friends. We have, and you guys know them. I mean, the introduction, let's see, add to the stage, Ian and Mike. Guys, how you doing tonight?
Oh, hi there.
What's going on?
Hello.
Good to see you.
Fantastic.
Happy Wednesday. Happy tax day.
Yeah, happy tax day.
Did you do your taxes?
If some of you know best, happy extension day. If you get it, if you do an extension and then you got a little more time, you still got to pay if you owe. So
fun fact
as well. Also today is Jackie Robinson Day. So not that one. Here it is. Today, all baseball teams, all players wear the number 42 on the back of their jersey. So there's no names on the back of the jersey. They all wear number 42 in honor of the late and great Jackie Robinson, who broke the barrier for Major League and, it continues to shine today. So little shout out to Jackie Robinson for all the courage and the honor that we still give you to this day, and we will forever do it as well. All right, guys. So we're going to get to the raffle, and we have such a great raffle. I mean, the Richmond jersey that we did a few weeks ago was fantastic, but this is Jason Taylor, right? And who doesn't love Jason? I mean, everyone loves Richmond, but everybody also loves Jason Taylor. So we're going to get into that in just a little bit. We're going to speak about the draft, and then State of the Dolphins. Ian's going to give us a health update. I always tell Ian, if I don't hear from you, no news is good news. And we haven't really had many updates from you. So I think we're heading in the right position, right trajectory. So stay tuned for that. After we get a little health update, we'll do the raffle, and then we'll close it down talking about the Panthers, the Heat, and the Marlins. So we're going to end on a sour note. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys.
After that, I don't want to talk about the Heat or Panthers. I don't want to be depressed after this call.
Okay, but you could help me at least with the Heat, at least with the Heat, because you were the one who also posted last night that technical difficulties. I was like, okay, good. So it's not just my TV that's plugging out right now. All right, guys. So let's talk a little bit about the draft. First of all, the Miami Dolphins next week are having a draft party, and I don't understand why the Dolphins don't have the draft party at the Hard Rock Stadium. I mean, it's pretty much centralized between Broward and Miami-Dade. So, Broward people can get there, Miami people can get there, but they just don't do it at the stadium. And there's other teams like the Jets and stuff who do it at their stadium. But the Dolphins will be having their draft party in two locations, one in Fort Lauderdale at the Wharf and the other one at the Regatta, which is in Coconut Grove down here in Miami. And Ian, you plan on going to the one at the Wharf, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit late. It's my daughter's last chorus concert and in high school, so I cannot miss that. But as soon as that ends, I'm going to head on over, and I'll probably miss the first pick, but I won't miss the second pick if there is a second pick for the Dolphins in the first round. But so just so you know too, I asked about why the stadium was not hosting these, and the reason is that they're preparing for the F1 race. So they go right from Dolphin season to tennis season to the F1 race, and they just, the parking would be crazy. I think the field is not there, I think, if I remember right. So, but I loved it when we did it. When we did it at the stadium, it was great.
Yeah, no, I remember it was actually the first time I met Chris Barker and Gorilla Luke, and it was such. They put on a great show. It was during COVID. I actually have a picture of you and I. We were in our masks on the field. It was probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So, yep. But they did pick 2 great locations. So one for us people in Miami, and then one for the people in Broward, and they do a good job. The cheerleaders were there, photo ops, giveaways. So right now we are projected to have the 11th pick. So 11th is about halfway, a little on the earlier side. So we'll see how that goes. But I do plan on being at the one in Miami. It's just too hard to get to Fort Lauderdale. All right. So before we get into draft talks, something's been on my head. And the reason why it's in my head, because I did some spring cleaning, right? I donated a whole bunch of stuff to Camilla's house, the homeless shelter here. And I'm like going through my Dolphin stuff. And then I had a crap ton of Dolphins jerseys of players who are no longer on the team.
I'm sure that's a lot of them.
Right? So first of all, I had two jerseys. Then I had a Terry shirt, and then a jersey, Waddle. And then, of course, you go back in the past. You name it, I've had it. So, guys, I want to ask you, let's start with it. Did we really, really, really have to clean house? I mean, everybody.
Yes.
And Waddle, too? Waddle?
Yes. I can tell you why. Short answer. Next year, his contract was going to jump to $30 million per season. He has no trade value next season because no one's going to want to take on that contract. You trade him now, let that new team worry about it next year, and we rebuild. And I see a lot of people say online, Waddle's always hurt. Actually, he's only missed like 3 games ever. The problem with Waddle is you're paying him like a number 1. He's not a number 1. And 2, it's not that he's always hurt. Every time he gets hit, it seems like it takes him 5 minutes to stand up off the turf. And he's always like limping around. You needed to move on from him now. It's always, I'd rather get rid of a guy 1 year too early than 1 year too late. And look, we got to be honest as Dolphins fans. This team wasn't any good. And by the time we will be good again, and we will be good again someday. He's going to be too old by then. So get rid of him now. You got a first-round pick, which I'm shocked we got a first-round pick, and let's move on. The only way to fix this mess that bad man Chris Greer put us in is to rip the Band-Aid off and move on from a lot of these guys. They're nice people. They're not all bad people. There's a couple of them that were bad people. I'm not going to name names, but most, like Waddle's a good guy, but he had to go because to fix this thing the right way means you have to move on from some people, fix the salary cap issue, not so much for this year, but looking at next year. I think next year they're projected, as of this moment, it'll change, to have the 3rd or 4th most salary cap space. And a big part of that is moving on from bad contracts that Chris Greer passed out.
I spoke to a Denver Broncos fan, and he's like, what are we getting with Waddle? And I said, you're going to get somebody. He's rarely hurt, right? He rarely misses games. But exactly as Mike mentioned, sometimes he will get the air knocked out of him because he's hit so hard, because he plays so hard that he might miss a couple plays, But the guy always bounces back up and comes back in. And as Mike mentioned, he's in the wrong half of the 20s, I guess you could say, when you're looking, and he is going to be looking for a much larger payday. Yeah. And the Denver Bronco fan said, well, we're probably just going to rent him for a year anyway and then figure out what we have to do. Well, he just gave up a first-round pick for that. So I think it's probably a very good move. Do we miss Waddle? Yes. The other thing, too, is not mentioned. Mike did talk about it, but, if you can replace him with a rookie on a rookie deal for the next 3 to 4 years, you're saving money in the long run. If you can find that, and that's going to be the other thing, if you can find somebody who can replicate or even possibly do better at that position. But as far as everybody else, as Mike said, rip the Band-Aid off. We had to see some drastic changes with this team. I think that's the only way you're going to get where you want to get to. You know, they replace the general manager, they replace the head coach, they replace 80% of the staff, you know, with the team.
They replaced Dan Marino and Troy Aikman.
and you know,
he's going.
Right. And, you know, the fact is that we needed to see this. Now, here's the other side to that, because everybody said we want this, we need this. But now we're kind of putting all our chips in the table saying these guys are the guys that are going to make that change. And if 3 years or 4 years it doesn't work out,
rebuild,
then we are back to where we are today. But again, let's see what these guys can do. They're from a very successful organization. You know, it's well known for strong quarterbacks, well known for, you know, the toughness that we keep talking about that the Miami Dolphins have been lacking the last couple of seasons. So it's I said next Thursday is really the start of this era of the new Miami Dolphins football. Yeah, we've seen some free agency stuff, but you know, these guys are 1 year rentals, most of them. But what we see next Thursday is really going to determine what the next 4 to 6 years are going to look like for this team.
Hey, let me say this real quick. I remember an owner once, probably maybe 24 months ago or so, said status quo isn't good enough or something like that. Well, status quo wasn't good enough. And the only way to do this was to blow it up. And I know, you know, some nice players, like Chubb's a great player, and he was great last year. He's also had 3 ACL injuries, and like we can't pay guys like that $20 million just because they're great guys off the field. He had one good year because he has a lot of injuries in his past too. You got to move on from guys like Chubb. Last year they traded away Jalen Phillips, which was the right move when they did that. It really was the right move because he's someone else who, you know, has had some injuries. Waddle, you know, Hill's a mess off the field anyways. It's like it was easy. Some of this stuff was like field and a ground ball, easy decision. What's going to be interesting to see in the next week if they trade Jordan Brooks, because Jordan Brooks has got a trade market out there. I don't think they'll trade Achane. I don't think they'll trade Aaron Brewer, but Brooks in the next 8 days could be moved.
Yeah, he's had a great couple of, you know, was it 2 seasons now with the Miami Dolphins?
Led the NFL last year in tackles.
And he led the NFL. So
his value won't be higher.
Value. And the question is going to be, can he replicate that this year? And if you don't think he can, then again, he is at the height of his value right now for a potential trade. What could you get for him? Who knows? But
I'm sure third-round pick. Probably because he's in the final year of his deal. So you either have to pay him a whole lot of money or trade him now, because don't let him walk and get nothing for him. That's the big call.
Yep.
So it kind of leads to my next question. With all of this guttedness and, you know, taking people off the Dolphins, who is going to be the leader of this team? I want to say Devon Achane, but he's
not a leader.
Show like on the field, like, okay, copy what I'm doing. He doesn't have the spunk, right? He's not going to pump them up. But he's a good leader. He's a good role model, but he's not a leader.
Jordan Brooks is your leader if he's here.
Yeah, that's what I was going with. If he may be traded within the next 8 days, let's say he goes, right? Let's just say he goes, and Devon is just going to be, you know, who he is. Who the heck is going to be the leader of the team?
To be determined.
Yeah, to be determined. But also, I think, you know, you have to look at Malik Willis. You know, in most teams in the NFL, the quarterback is the leader of that team. And it's going to be interesting to see, because we saw Tua and, you know, his leadership skills. He had some, but also, you know, there were some faults to that as well, which I think everybody can agree to. And I'm saying this very nicely.
You are saying it very nicely.
I like Tua, and you guys know that.
I know you do.
But Malik should be the leader of this organization.
You're right.
Right? So we'll see.
In the perfect world. You know, with the whole thing with Tua, obviously you guys know what transpired with me on X Twitter a few years ago with the whole Tua thing. And I don't want to say I put it in my back pocket, because at the end of the day, I really wanted this guy to succeed. I promise you.
Everybody did. That's the thing. People can fight on social media. Everyone was rooting for him. But at some point, you know, don't, as I always say, Ian, you know, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. When the guy's playing like crap, game after game, week after week, month after month, don't tell me, don't worry about it, he's going to be fine. No, he's not going to be fine. And that's where we got to that point.
And that's what happened. So it was during Lent that we get the news that Tua is no longer with the Dolphins. And I wanted so bad to just say, I told you guys so. I knew this, but I was really refrained from not.
Yeah, nobody cares. Yeah, it's not worth it.
Like, it's not worth it, right? But I have like a sense of peace now, because it's a chapter closed. So I have the closure, and I don't know if you guys feel like that. Like, there's no more back and forth with people arguing. Is he the guy? Is he not the guy? This, that. Like, he's not here anymore. So me, along with everybody else, we just need to close that chapter. and focus on our future. We wish
real funny because I did shows for years with Ian, and I always told him this is probably year 2 or 3. I go, Ian, when this ends, it's going to end ugly. And boy, did it end ugly because I saw it coming a mile away. I go, fans put him on such a pedestal. A segment of the fans, a large segment of fans.
They worship
on a pedestal where they worship, and I've never seen a fan base worship a player, and sometimes for no reason they kind of worshipped him. Just like, well, Mike Florio said something mean, so I have to defend him. No, you don't. You don't defend Jesse Davis. You don't defend all these crappy players. You didn't have to defend him. But a segment of the fan base wanted to, and I go, it's going to end ugly. And it ended with Tua press conferences, bad-mouthing the fans, bad-mouthing his teammates, throwing the coaches under the bus.
Everybody.
It was ugly. It couldn't get any uglier.
So one thing I didn't throw out there, and Mike, you're going to remember this very well, before the draft in 2020, I wrote an article that said the Miami Dolphins should not gamble on Tua Tagovailoa pre-draft because I felt that his injury history was going to carry over into the National Football League. And I listed out other players in the NFL who had major hip injuries and how their performance basically failed them. And I did mention Justin Herbert as one of the people that we should be looking at. And then also there was another player who ended up becoming, I think he lasted 1 year in the NFL. So, I wasn't perfect, but I ended that article by basically saying, if the Dolphins select Tua, I'm going to be his number 1 fan. And I'm going to continue to back him until he's not wearing aqua and orange anymore. And
you did it. You kept your word. You kept your word.
Here's a funny one. Here's even funnier, that draft, because that was in the pandemic.
Yep.
And the Tuesday before the draft, which was a Thursday night one, I had Mike Tannenbaum on our show. I've been trying to get Mike forever. He'd recently been fired by the Dolphins not that long before. And Mike comes out and, he's talking to me off there. Mike, I usually don't do shows like this. I go, Mike, I'm not going to sabotage you with anything about what I'm talking about guys in this year's draft. That's all we're going to talk about. He goes, great. So I asked him point blank. This is 48 hours before the pick. Mike, if you were in charge, who would you take, Tua or Herbert? Without missing a beat, he goes, it's not even close. I'm taking Herbert. And I'm
really? Okay.
Now, yes, he goes, it's not even close. I'm taking Herbert. He's bigger. He's stronger. No injuries to worry about. I think there's more there. I think it'll be better. And it was a great interview. And now I fast forwarded like a year or two later. I'm like, the one time he got something right, he wasn't in power
right very
anymore.
Often. He was not right very often.
No, but he would have changed the course of our franchise if he would have made that pick.
Can you imagine? I wish that
one time.
But we have to trust Malik Willis. I mean, obviously Quinn Ewers is still there, but there's not going to be a competition. Malik is going to be your QB1. We know that moving forward. And we just have to hope for the best. Now, that kind of leads me to the next point, the draft. So the 2026 NFL draft is next Thursday. This year it is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. When we were there in December, they actually started preparing for it. So they had the cool clocks and countdowns and everything. So this is an image of what it should look like next to, which I still call Heinz Field, next Thursday. So right now the Dolphins, because things could change, we are projected to have 2 picks. Well, we have 2 picks, not projected. We have 2 picks in the first round. We have the 11th pick, and then we have the 30th pick, which we mentioned before came from Denver through the whole Waddle. So, and then in the second round, we have the number 43rd pick. So with that, are we picking at 11? And if we're picking at 11, if you guys were the GM, if you're John, because I would never call you Chris Greer, if you guys were John-Eric Sullivans, what position are we going for at 11? Mike, go first. What do you got?
Okay. They will pick at 11.
Who we're picking?
It won't. Yes, they're going to pick at 11. I don't know about pick 30, but they're picking at 11. And here's what I'll say. I feel very strongly about. It won't be a wide receiver, but I think everything else is in play. They could take a corner. They could take an edge rusher. They could take an offensive lineman. I think it's one of those spots. If the safety from Ohio State falls, they could take him. I don't think he's going to fall, but I could see, Spencer Fano, Francis Mavinoa from Miami down there. I could see Mansour, Delane, Jermod McCoy. He's going to be in play. Monroe Freeling will be in play, the offensive tackle. Reuben Bain, if he falls that far, he could be in play. I think edge rusher, corner, offensive lineman, I think it's going to be one of those 3 spots. It doesn't have to be one over the other because, look, here's the thing for Dolphins fans. And I know it's tough to say this because we've waited so long, 25 years without a playoff and all that stuff. Got to have some patience. they're not going to fix this roster in one draft. It's just not. You can't fill every hole in one draft. I don't care how many picks they got. You can't. So they need help literally everywhere except for running back. So as long as it ain't a running back, which ain't going to happen, I don't care what position. Even if they took a wide receiver, I'm not going to be mad at it because we need wide receivers, but I just don't think he will take one there. Like, they need help everywhere across the board. But I think offensive lineman, edge rusher, corner, one of those three spots will be pick 11. If I had to guess, one of those three spots will be pick 30, and that's probably how they get this thing going.
E, what do you like?
So I think in the first round, one of two things is going to happen. Either one, they're going to trade down a lot, and they're going to try and accumulate as many picks as they possibly can. And you heard John Eric Sullivan actually today during his press conference say, I doubt I'm going to be trading up, but we will be very active on the phone to trade down. And again, there's just so many holes to fill at this point. And this is the start of their era, so they want to try and get as many blue chip players as they possibly can. If they decide to stay where they are, and because the other part to that is you've got to have two to tango, right? So you've got to have somebody who's willing to trade their pick to come up to get your pick. And if that's not the case, then I think you've got two or three positions that you're going to look for, either offensive tackle, defensive back, or wide receiver in those two spots. Again, I don't think they're going to take a wide receiver at number 11, but I could see that at number 30 because that is such a need right now. I think it's almost an ongoing joke, as I've seen a couple of memes online that says, who has the worst wide receiving core as of this moment, and Miami is like right up there in the top 5 worst. So they're going to build in the draft at some point. But the other thing too is, as it stands right now, I think we all agree that Malik Willis is going to start this coming season.
Yeah.
I doubt they're going to pick a quarterback at anywhere in this draft, even though
that came up this morning on the Joe Rose show. They were talking about maybe mid somewhere, but you don't think at all, E.
John Eric Sullivan did say he wants to take one every year, but I would caution that for year one in that next year's draft, you're going to have 5 or 6 who will get picked in round 1. It's a great quarterback draft next year.
Yeah.
And they just paid Willis this money, so he might pass on one this year. Now, look, round 5, round 7, who cares?
Low fruit. Somebody's there.
Go for it, take a flyer. But I think
somebody.
With those 7 picks in the top 100, which is really all that matters,
yeah,
I don't think he's taking one there. And
yep.
So, but because I think next year in round 1, I think that's where they are taking a quarterback.
Next year, yeah. And so here's the other thing I would try and avoid. I'm looking at what's available from the defensive backside, and they've got some players that are really high up on the list. And there's one particular player. Let me find him. I had him written down, and now I can't find him. Well, anyway, there's a player who's a defensive back that had an ACL tear last year.
Shemai McCoy.
From McCoy from Texas, is that right? Or Texas
Shemai
Tech?
McCoy from Tennessee. He had an ACL 2 weeks ago. He did like a workout where he ran a 4.38, but that's straight line running. We don't know how he could cut and move, but he did run a 4.38.
Yeah, and my concern is basically us looking at it the same way we looked at the last couple, mistakes. Not all of the mistakes, but when you're looking at a player who's already been injured and you're picking him up that high in the draft, it's kind of tough to do. So I wouldn't take him in the first round, but I could be completely wrong. I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. So, but I would just caution people that have a lot of injury histories because we're just so used to that. And it felt like that was the Chris Greer way.
Chris Greer loved a broken toy. Exactly. We're getting a deal. This guy's injured. Everyone, he's injured.
What's he doing these days?
There's a reason 31 teams don't want him. You're the only moron who did.
Anybody know what he's doing these days? Not that I care, but I'm curious.
He's a very rich man sitting at home.
Yeah, he always lived a private life, so I think he's just continuing.
And I'm pretty sure he signed. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they made him sign an NDA, so he can't talk about nothing anyways.
You mean he won't go on the DolphinsTalk?
No. Look, I'd love to have him, and I'd give him the fairest interview. I would give him, all joking aside, I'd give him the fairest interview he could get anywhere. But I'm pretty sure because he technically wasn't fired. The language they used is they have mutually said they're parting ways, which means NDA. Yeah. NDA. Because if that lawsuit for Flores goes on and on and on, Ross wants him in his back pocket. So he got his salary, probably a little more, and just zip your mouth, sign the NDA.
And just so you know, Mike, if he were to come on the show, I have this Manscaped which I know.
There we go. You still got it.
Exfoliator, crop gel, and shaving care for down there.
Because you know, Ashley, when you shave the bushes, the tree stands taller.
I'm dead.
And for Halloween, they have the line Halloweeny. They were a great advertiser for us for many, many years. We had a lot of fun, me and Ian. But
goodness, I hope my grandma's not on this episode. You know, she's a regular. That would be a good thing to explain to her. Sweet Paul from England said Greer has gone to Disney. Maybe so. He may be Mickey.
His brother was a GM of the Anaheim Ducks, so it's probably true.
Oh my God.
Or the Sharks, one of them. I don't know which one.
Before we get into the raffle, one more thing. I just want to know, we hit on this a little bit again, but 2026 expectations moving forward for the Miami Dolphins. I feel like I just have to say it, right?
Sit back, enjoy the games.
What's your expectation as a team, and what should we be feeling as a fan? I know Ian's very positive. He's always been positive. He always will be that positive. But Ian, are you kind of like, okay, maybe we'll figure this out, or you're like, yeah, guys, just sit tight? Ian, what do you think this year?
I'm setting my expectations low because I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But if there's a way that this team can somehow win, 6, 7, 8 games, I think that would be something special, and that would be something where it's real springboard for next season and the season after that. Yeah. That I know that there's some people out there that are talking about tanking because they really want Arch.
They're not tanking. I promise you're not tanking.
I hate that. Yeah. It doesn't feel like 2018, 2019, 2009. It doesn't feel like 2019 because they were just giving up everybody and weren't getting anything in return, really.
They're putting in work. They're going to put in work,
Yeah, exactly. So if they are some way somehow able to make it to the playoffs. Now, again, this is me positive saying.
There it is.
You're talking about Coach Hafley being potential Coach of the Year type candidate.
Oh, yeah.
They'll build him a statue if they do that. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So, but that's what my expectation is.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. Las Vegas has them at 4.5 wins, tied with Arizona, lowest in the league. And Vegas usually ain't wrong, if you know what I mean. But here's the other thing. And I sort of said this just like 5 minutes ago. We've waited this long. We really got to have one more year of patience. In that, two things can be true. They're not going to tank, but they might not win a lot of games either. Like, you can not tank and just not win games. And it's going to be, 7 picks in the top 100 this year? Those 7 guys are all going to play. Last year, a lot of guys like Grant, Savanea, Jordan, Phillips, they're all going to play. It's going to be a roster of first and second year guys mixed in with Achane, Willis, who's only got 6 starts ever. Malik Washington's like the most senior wide receiver we got, which isn't great. It's like they're not going to tank, but they might not win a lot. And it's look for small things each week. Yeah, we lost. We got blown out by the Bills. But these 3 rookies played outstanding, which is good for the long-term prognosis. So I'd say for this year, watch the games with a vodka martini, with a beer, with a grass hop, whatever you like to drink.
Wings.
Watch it. Have some weed. I don't know. Watch the games and relax. But don't look at the wins, losses. Look at which young players are developing. You're like, oh, a year from now, we might be something. And you got to look for the small victories this year, because if you're looking at wins, losses, I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but it might be really ugly.
Yeah. No, and
especially with their schedule. It's insane.
The thing is we're going to continue to support. I'll be going to all games.
I'm flying down there. What the hell?
And you mentioned schedule. The away schedule is very, very sexy. Let me tell you, for someone who does 305 sports travel with Lou, those away games, Denver, Vegas, Minnesota, if it's September.
Lambeau again.
Lambeau. Potentially Mexico City would be fantastic. So
I've heard that's a done deal. Yeah.
That would be amazing. I'd love to go to Mexico City.
Hey, Ashley, I would be careful about Mexico City. Some Americans go down there and they never come back. That's all I'm going to say.
Let me tell you, out of all our fan groups, our Mexican fan group from Mexico.
I'm sure they're great, but they're natives.
They are. Oh, we would have the best bodyguard. We would be in the best hands. Okay. But it would be it'd be great. Russ said, Bills under a new coach and staff and new stadium, they might not be that power. Yeah, and also maybe a trip to Highmark Stadium as well, seeing a new stadium. So even though we may not win a lot of games this year, it may be rough. I kind of taking what both of you guys said. Mike, it's going to be great to see the little steps of progress. Ian to see the big picture, and then on my part, just going to some great cities.
Win the tailgate, baby.
And the tailgate. So it'll be interesting. A big sis Lisa said it'll be interesting to see Steelers fans react to a Cleveland Browns draft pick. Oh, yeah. Oh, Miss Finn's in the house. There she is. Now you can say hi. Hello.
If they're smart, which I think they will do, the past few years, like the host city, when it was in Tennessee, they had Pat McAfee walk out there and cut a promo like a bad guy wrestler, how the city of Tennessee sucks, the fans go nuts. Last year with the Packers in Green Bay, Seth Rollins, who's a big-time wrestler, he went out there, cut a promo, the fans went nuts. The Miz, who's a big-time wrestler, is a diehard Browns fan.
Of course.
And if they have any smarts at all, have him go out there, cut a promo. He will have the city of Pittsburgh ready to storm the stage. He is so good at that, and he will flip them. I mean, it would be they better get the Miz there. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh. Miss Finn said 305 Sports Babe, what cities are we going to this year? So all depends on the schedule. You guys know I won't travel during Thanksgiving and Christmas, so hopefully nothing around those, few work commitments. But as soon as we get that schedule, which usually it's the second week of May. Last year was the third week. They messed us up. Last year, they really messed me up. But
I think it's May 13th or May 14th this year, they said.
Yeah, so as soon as we look at that schedule, just look at the dates, and you'll be hearing from us. We went to Pittsburgh last year, Miss Finn's. Ian, hands up.
I'm the number because I'm hoping to get to 5 away games this year.
All right. Well, you'll be joining us. We have a great time on the road. You were supposed to go to Houston with us, 2 years ago, and you ended up not being able to. So we owe you one on the road. Lou is in the house. Lou said, finally made it. Hey, Mike, Big E, and 305 Sports Babe. Hello, Luis Dominguez. Lou also said hello.
I like you said hello, Luis Dominguez, like he's not your husband.
I mean, he said to me, he called me 305 Sports Babe. So hello,
okay,
Luis
that's
Dominguez.
true. Wow. Hey, you guys roll how you guys roll. I don't know.
Robert Tracy, good evening. Finn's family, good evening, darling. Good to see you. All right, guys. So enough Dolphins talk for now, because you know what? It's so exhausting, right? And I'm coming off a bad Heat loss last night. My season's over. Panthers have their last game tonight, and they will not be seeing hockey after this, which is so weird because we thought we were going for the three-peat, and the Marlins are just the Marlins. So let's talk, I think, some positive news, which leads me to my next point. Ian, how the heck are you doing, pal? Give it to us.
Doing okay, actually. Yeah, no, it's actually been no news like we were talking about before. No news is sometimes good news, right? Yes. But I was testing out our cruise legs this weekend. We went on a short, it was a three night, but we really had 2 full days on a cruise to Nassau, Bahamas, and to Coco Cay. We take Royal Caribbean, love Royal Caribbean, by the way. And it all went beautifully well. It was great, no issues. But even more importantly and more positive, I think, was what I mentioned to you before the show, Ashley, which was my last appointment with the oncologist, which was a little over 2 weeks ago. Blood results came back very positive. Actually, my liver tests are the best they've been in.
Nice.
That's extraordinary.
I do something called a CA19-9, which is kind of a cancer antigen test, and it's the lowest it's been since this whole crap started. So
you still have cancer, but it's showing very little at this point, right?
It's reducing. Yeah, it's showing reduction. Okay. Like if you look at, they do like this great thing on the Miami app where you can kind of see the trend. And so like in 2023, you can see the trend going up to 2024. And then you see this like decline and then like this drop over the last couple of weeks. So
you're kicking cancer's ASS. Like you're really doing it. I mean, people say kick cancer's ASS, but you're really kicking its ass.
I am very encouraged by what I'm seeing in the results of the therapy and the blood tests that are coming out. And I told you from the first day this thing started that I'd continue to fight, and that's what I continue to do. So staying very positive and trying to live life. I say this, and I think I've typed it before, that it might have, and this is going to sound really weird, but it may actually have been kind of a godsend that this kind of happened, because now I get to see my daughter graduate, where before I was going to be in Philadelphia, stuck with the liver transplant up there for like 4 to 6 months, and I've been able to do all these things with Jessica and the family. So it's like you can look at it and like, what was me?
God works in mysterious ways, man.
Yeah. So it's been really special for me.
And how's the liver? So we know the cancer, you're kicking its butt. Cancer has no shot against you. But the other issue was the liver, because people ask me these questions. So I want to make sure we're all transparent. So cancer kicking its butt, but the liver, what's going on with the liver?
Liver's pretty much the same.
All
we
right.
met with my doctor, also University of Miami doctor. and he said it's stage 4 cirrhosis.
Okay.
But he did say, again, looking at the numbers, that things are looking good with that. I've still got these 2 tubes, and funny enough, I call them Zach and Jason, just so you know.
Stop it.
No, I'm serious.
That's awesome.
I'm serious. So Zach is the one that doesn't traditionally give me trouble. Jason is the one that traditionally gives me trouble. So, but they have to be flushed every night because it's coming from the liver to the outside. And then also sometimes they'll leak a little bit, and without getting too graphic, we have to change the dressing, which is Jill helps out. She's been amazing. So, Jill does all of that for me. And she helps.
Well, you look freaking amazing. Let me tell you. I said the first thing you said.
Really do.
I haven't seen you in a few weeks. We're seeing each other a lot, and then we got a little busy. And then I didn't like that people tried to pin us against each other. Let me tell you. So a lot of people, because my St. John's Johnnies.
Oh yes.
They did the St. John's ended up playing Duke in the Sweet 16.
Oh, that's right. His daughter's going to Duke.
Tagging Ian and I. Oh, Ian, are you going to go for Ashley St. John's Johnny's, or are you going to go for your daughter's Blue Devils? And then I texted Ian. I said, Ian, your daughter's not at Duke yet. You got to support
That's
me.
right.
And then I'm going to tell him. Ian said, that's okay. I'm going to support the Johnnies. So,
but I told Jessica that I was going to support Duke, so nobody really knows what the truth was behind that. So it's all good.
Yeah, and St. John's unfortunately did not win. We got knocked out, but it was a great time. And then I'm seeing you tomorrow. I haven't seen you in a few weeks, so we're going to meet up for lunch tomorrow. You're coming down my way, so I have packages for you because people are still mailing things in for you. So it's when I see you, it's like Santa giving you the gift. So I'm excited to see you and Jill tomorrow for our lunch. So guys, thank you to everybody who has supported Ian through a raffle or through gift cards or just words of encouragement. It all means so much to him. And I'm speaking on behalf of you, but I'm speaking on behalf of all of us, because big love for Big E is so, so, so true. And the power of prayer, the power of words is so impactful. So guys, thank you to everyone, whether you shared a post, whether you donated, whether you sent him a message, it all goes noticed and nothing goes unnoticed. So thank you for that. So let's get into the raffle. Tonight we have a double raffle, meaning there's 2 items. We have a Jason Taylor signed football, Hall of Fame football, and then we have a limited edition bobblehead. So Jason Taylor, I became a Dolphins fan in 2009, so that was his last season. So I unfortunately didn't get to see him at his prime. Jason Taylor played 13 seasons with the Dolphins. He ended up, going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2017. And there's actually 2 players on the Dolphins: Jason Taylor, 99, and Zach Thomas, 54. Whose numbers are not retired, but no one touches those numbers. So all these new players that are going to be coming in Dolphins, don't even think about having 99.
They won't pass them out.
Even though it's not retired, it is an understatement that no one gets those numbers. So Zach Thomas, 54, and 99 are off the books. You guys can have any other numbers besides those 2. Or 13. 13's kind of, that's
retired. That one's
so guys,
retired.
before we pull the raffle, just want to know what Jason Taylor means to you. I mean, obviously pretty good on the eyes. I think a woman or a man could say
you can say that. I never looked at him that way.
I mean, you see, he coaches now, down here at the Canes, so us Cane fans get a lot of him. What do you guys remember him during his prime down here when he played here?
I just remember he was such a disruptor. That was the big thing. And, between him and Zach, they would actually talk about, the sportscasters would be like, yeah, Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas, they make these plays all the time. And then next thing you know, the next play on the TV was Jason Taylor or Zach Thomas making a play for a touchdown or for a sack or for a fumble recovery. But he was a motor. He was a motor. And yeah, I can say he's a good looking guy.
Right?
Definitely a good looking guy. Still a good looking guy, even though he's probably in his 40s, I want to say, early 40s.
He's in his 50s. Yeah.
50s now, really?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Gotta be in his 50s.
How old is Jason Taylor? Mike, what do you remember of him? 51 years old.
He's 51 years old.
51.
It's my age.
Impactful player. He was a draft pick of Jimmy Johnson's when Jimmy was in Miami. Outstanding player. Just one of the guys who you knew was going to show up week in, week out. When he left Miami to go to the Jets in Washington, that was all Bill Parcells, because Bill Parcells didn't like him going on Dancing with the Stars. And nowadays, teams like, who cares? But then that was kind of a big deal. He never should have left here, though. He has a son who plays with the Jets. His son's amazing. And just, the work that, he does along with Seth Levitt, who is responsible for these 2 prizes with the Jason Taylor Foundation in South Florida. His foundation does a lot of great work in the community, and that should not be overlooked either. Life after football, everyone says, oh, he should be a coach. Well, he is a coach, but it's like, what did he do in the community with his name? And they do a lot of great work at the Jason Taylor Foundation. So, great guy, great player. And he's given back after his time in Miami in South Florida as well.
Robert Tracy said, crazy that Jason Taylor and Zach have the same birthday.
Yeah, September 1st or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were in the same family for a little while too.
Yeah.
When he married the sister. Yeah. So this was the raffle that went on. We started this raffle back in March, and today is the last day. All proceeds have been and continue to go to Ian to support his family going on an amazing cruise. He just came off of a cruise, but this is like a big, big cruise. They're going on in a few weeks in the summer, the Alaskan cruise. So, guys, thank you to everyone. This raffle alone, let me see how much it raised. This raffle alone, grand total, $1,170, guys. So thank you to everyone who has donated to support the raffle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to do the raffle the same way we did last time. So let's pull this up here. Share screen here.
While you're doing that, Lou did not know that JT and Zach shared the same birthday.
I don't even think he knows what my birthday is. Just kidding. Just kidding.
That might be an issue. That might be an issue.
Kidding. All right, guys, can you see my screen?
Oh, yeah. Yes. See it right there.
All right, so all the names are inputted. We have 156 entries. So, Mike, can you go through the list and just give everybody a shout out who bought some tickets? Go ahead.
Here we go. Blake Mills, Jeremy Ivins, Victoria Stella, Neri Finns, Sandra Ulig, Rolando Davis, Kelly Haggard, Dorian Sims, William Eber, Douglas Bigler, Zane Comunes, Keith McCroden, Dwayne Wilson, Michael Piner, Kurt Wenzel, Leslie Terry, John O'Hannon, Robert Tracy, Michael Marchese, Stanley Patrisky, Sheldon Young, Sharon Garcia, Susan Lancaster, Karen Dube, Bonnie Sedgwick, Mike Sorellis, Kirk Marks. And if I said anyone's name wrong, you have my apologies.
Yep, so Kirk, who's in the chat, was the last one to come in. He came in right before the 6 p.m. deadline. So as you guys know, depending on how many raffle tickets you bought, how many entries you have. So, for example, we'll use Kirk. Kirk did the 3 for $20, so his name is here 3 times. So what we're going to do, and give me a number 1 through 5.
Thank you for not asking for 1 through 100 like we did last time.
You said 99 because Jason Taylor. I might have
No.
We'll do 3. I like
3. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle this list 3 times. So right now, all the names are together. So you can see Robert Tracy, all his entries are together. You guys can see that, right? John, all his together. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle that. We're going to shuffle 3 times. That's 1 shuffle there. So now you can see the names are mixed up. So it's 1. We're going to do 1 more time. And then 1 more time after that is 3 shuffles, all right? So we got 3 shuffles. Right. Then we're going to go here during the spin. Spin time, 1 through 20. Mike, give me a number 1 through 20.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, let's do 20. Let's make it last 20 seconds. Come on, that's not too long.
Okay, perfect. So we have 3 shuffles, and we got 20 seconds. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and push, and here we go. Are we dancing? Mike, you're not dancing.
Wheel.
Fortune. Big wheel, big money.
Kelly Haggard has won. Kelly, congratulations.
Nice.
You are the winner. So I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that so I have records since I'm old school. So, Mike, tell her what you will be winning.
Yeah, she's won the Jason Taylor autographed football in the picture that you showed earlier, and a very rare Jason Taylor bobblehead doll that just came out within the past like 5 or 6 months. I think there's only like 123 of them made or some number like that, 123, 129, something like that. It's very rare. And we will work on getting that to you. Ashley, I'll talk to you because that stuff's with Seth and we got to organize how to get this. He might be able to send it right to her. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. But you have to get her, probably have to get her address and stuff. And then we can figure it out from there. But as always, congratulations, Kelly.
Congratulations. And thank you again. I just want to say again, thank you to everybody who donated. It's this is going to be a very special cruise. I know I said I went on one this past weekend. It was a very short cruise and quite inexpensive, which is one of the reasons why we were able to do it. And it was spring break for my oldest daughter in her last year in high school. So we're like, all right, we want to do something for her. But this one in Alaska is going to be just an amazing cruise. Many cruisers that we talked to said they've done it before. Great time of the year, beautiful scenery. You're just going to love every minute of it. So it's actually, I mean, I'm counting 63 days away now till the next one. And it's going to take a lot for us to get there and a lot for us to get home. But I just want to say thank you again to everyone who has made the donation to try and get one of these raffles. It's really, it's special for my family and I for us to be able to do this. So thank you.
Perfect. All right, guys, stay with me for 5 more minutes because we just got to close the show on just a few more things. Okay, so last night was brutal. The Miami Heat, let me just bring it up. We have been eliminated from the playoffs. We didn't even really make the playoffs. We were in the play-in tournament to get into the playoffs. We finished the season 43-39, the 10th seed in the NBA playoffs or NBA play-in tournament. This is the 4th year that we got into this position in the play-in tournament. We lost last night in Charlotte against the Hornets. The Hornets fans turned up big time. The atmosphere there was crazy. It looked crazy on TV. Real early in the game, first half, LaMelo Ball grabbed, as you can clearly see here, clearly see Bam Adebayo's right foot, and Bam Adebayo ends up falling on his butt and totally messes up his right side of his back. Unfortunately, does not return for the second half. And that was just terrible. The game it went into overtime, right? And there's just crazy shots, both sides. Tyler Hero nailed the 3 and then ended up 3. But the real crazy thing was when there was like less than a minute left in overtime, and we all get this message on our TV. And so Lou's on the side of the couch, and Lou looks at me. He's like, "What did you do to the TV?" I said, "You have the remote." And so there was an issue. This game was played on Amazon, and I'm really not a fan of these Amazon, Hulu, Peacocks, all of it. I get it's a money thing. But Ian, you also got this message. So I know you were watching the game too.
Yes, I was.
And so I kind of wish that this message would have stayed on so we didn't have to see the end of the game, but we did end up losing. So the Heat season is over. I personally think that the Heat, we need a big name down here, right? We're stuck in this position where it's literally just stuck. Like, we're good enough to compete, but we're competing at a very mediocre level. And until we really get a big name player and figure this out, nothing's going to change. I'm over Tyler Hero. I'm tired of he's been on the team, 6 years, his smiling. Like, I just feel he's immature. He's injury prone. And Lou was upset. Was he upset? You're still upset. I was upset. You're still upset. So it's just, as a Heat fan, as a Heat season ticket holder, I can even tell you guys on a personal note, like, this season was just different. It wasn't as exciting. Granted, Bam dropped 83 points against the Wizards a few weeks ago. That was probably the best and only great thing that happened out of this season, but I'm kind of over it, and we just have to, the Heat organization needs to figure this out. I trust Pat Riley. Nothing needs to happen there. Coach Spo is fine, one of the greatest, but there really needs to be moves made, and I personally would get rid of the whole team minus Bam Adebayo. So you want to talk about gutting a team like the Dolphins? I think we need to do it as well.
That was my only comment, and Mike, I don't think you're a big Heat fan.
No, I hate the NBA.
One thing, and I don't follow the Heat as closely as you do, Ashley, but I don't know if Pat Riley's starting to lose some of his luster.
I can see it.
And I say that because what happened with Jimmy Butler became a very public issue.
Yeah.
And it was one of those where, Pat Riley was coming out in the public and saying things, and I think he's, it used to be that players, especially top tier players, would want to come to Miami. because they felt like this team could do something. But I don't know. Pat Riley, again, he might be losing some of his luster. When LeBron left too, I don't know if that was a very clean break when LeBron ended up leaving the Heat. But, you know, I don't think it's Eric Spoelstra, because I think that he's doing the right. Yeah.
Respected by the players. He's not. Players aren't hitting him. I know you guys got that little insight, like Mostert, what he said, that there's all issues in the locker room. Like, fine, right? Like, everything's fine in the coaching world, but I could see how there may be issues even higher than that are really dripping down, and it's disappointing. So
let me just say this real quick. For years, we heard about Heat culture. Your Heat culture was LeBron and Wade. When they ain't there, you're just every other team in the league. And it's like that in the NBA. That's a star-driven league. In the NFL, a team like Seattle can win a Super Bowl if you have a good team. The NBA, you need stars. And if you don't got stars, you ain't going nowhere. And, it's not like I got to get to Miami, South Beach. I got to go there. Nobody cares. Guys just want to get the max payment, and if they can get that in Milwaukee or Charlotte, they'll go there. They don't care. It's a star-driven league, and you either got to be really good or really bad. And if you can't be in the middle, and I know the Heat are in the middle, that's where you're dead, because you got to tank. That's why all these teams tank, and it's a huge tanking issue. That's why I can't watch the league, because everyone's tanking because they know you got to pick one or two a couple years in a row, get the stars, and then you'll be good again. If you're not, you're just floating in the middle. You're dead.
So a team that does have stars, the Florida Panthers, right?
They won back-to-back championships. You can't be crying about the Panthers.
But here's the thing. Our season does come to a close tonight. They are playing against the Red Wings right now in Sunrise. Our record is 39-38 with 4 ties. It's the last game of the season. We're eliminated from the playoffs.
Issues, though. They had some huge hits.
We did, and it's disappointing that we're not chasing the three-peat this year, but it's so hard to do in any sport. Obviously, our captain, Alexander Barkov, out early, didn't even play with the knee season. Then Matthew Tkachuk had surgery, so he's recovering from that. And then we lost Seth Jones halfway through, broke his foot. So while I am disappointed that we will not be seeing Panthers hockey in May and June, it has been a great 2-year run, and I don't doubt at all that they'll be back next year. Once everyone's healthy, these players are not going anywhere. So, guys, don't worry. Take a year off, save your money, because we're all still broke from the Stanley Cup the last 2 years, and I'm definitely speaking for myself.
That's true.
But we will be okay next year. The team that, lastly, I don't know if they're going to be okay, is the Miami Marlins. Currently, we are 9-9. We are sitting in second in the NL East, right behind the Braves and in front of the Phillies, but
they're not bad.
They're not
bad.
I don't know if
they can hit like a ton of bricks. They got no pitching, but they can hit, and that team can hit. I've actually seen them a couple times because I love Major League Baseball. I watch all the teams. They can hit. I don't know if they're going to go anywhere or anything, but they might surprise you this year.
So I don't know if we're building something, like it's tough because I don't know if we're building something or if we're just like treading water.
You're everyone's farm team. Yeah, I mean, that's never going to change. But
it is going to change because you know why?
Why? What are they going to do? Sell tickets?
Some sort of salary cap type situation.
Yeah.
In the next 2 to 4 years, you'll see that.
And once I see that, then I'll believe it. They've been talking about this for 40 years. It's never happened. Guess what? There's not going to be a season next year. You know why? Because the owners are going to lock out the players, and they ain't going to budge the players. There will be things put in place, but to call it a salary cap would be a farce. They're going to be kind of like it is now. If you spend over a certain amount, then you pay a penalty, but it's not going to be a hard cap. You'll never see a hard cap. I'd be shocked if you ever see a hard cap. It's just not going to happen in baseball. Those players will not budge on that. They'll do things so like LA can't do what they do is pay certain guys like 10% of their contract now, but you'll get paid to 20 years later. For the next 55 years of your life, you'll get paid. That stuff's going to stop, but I don't think you're seeing a cap.
We'll see.
Well, with the Marlins, hold on, let me take this comment off. Where to go? I'm at the point where I don't know if it's like, are we working with our young core, or are we like, do we waste time? I don't say waste time. Should we be developing players, or should we be spending money? And
A little bit of both. You got to do both.
But I kind of feel like we're not really spending money.
They never spend money.
That's the thing, right? So I feel like you do need a balance of developing who we have in the farm system, but then you also need to spend. And so if you don't have that balance, you're kind of putting too many eggs in one basket. But I will tell you, baseball is my favorite sport. I don't admit that to too many people. I love the Marlins. I'm a season ticket holder. I go there as much as possible.
You're the one season ticket holder.
I'm supporting them. I'm that girl. I have two groups coming. I mean,
just joking.
I'm that chick, and I love them, and I know what they're capable of doing. But it has been a roller coaster, right? The Braves, they're playing in Truist. I love our team, and they just better never leave Miami, because I know everyone's so quick to say, "Oh, they're going to move out of Miami. They're going to go this. Like, that cannot happen." So we shall see. Anyways, guys, it has been fun. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I originally said, hey, we'll just talk Dolphins, but then all this happened, and I didn't think it would be April 15th, and I have nothing to watch now besides baseball, which is fine, but it's kind of weird knowing that the Panthers and the Heat will not be playing. Even Will Manto said something, so thank you for helping me figure out what I'm going to do with my life the next few weeks.
I got to go binge watch The Boys. That's next on my agenda.
Yeah.
It came out the new season. That and Euphoria.
There's a lot of good
Watch
stuff.
the Madison. Watch the Madison on Paramount Plus. There's only 6 episodes.
Who has Paramount Plus? I don't have
Paramount Plus.
You don't have Paramount. You guys don't watch Landman?
No, I need to.
This is just as good as Landman. There's only 6 episodes. It is. First off, watch it with some Kleenex, because I won't be ashamed. Even I was.
Mike's a crier.
It was 6 episodes of greatness. Sign up for a month and cancel. Watch all these shows. It was so good. Michelle Pfeiffer, Kurt Russell. It's amazing. It's got the guy from Suits, Mike Ross. I don't know what his name is. He's in this. It is so good, the Madison.
Okay.
6 episodes. That's it. Sign up.
Well, if you have Netflix,
2 days you'll be done.
The 2 things that I've been watching is Love on the Spectrum, which is so beautiful. It's people who are on the spectrum with autism and they find love. And then Age of Attraction is where another show about love. I'm such a girl. I promise you guys, I'm all about sports.
Oh, hey.
With you.
But I love girl stuff. Guys, one more thing I want to mention. This just came out maybe an hour ago. Fernando Mendoza. So he was at the Heat game Sunday. Lou and I were there at the last home game. He was there. So he's been down here. And now this Tuesday, April 21st, the Brewers come to town this weekend, but then the Cardinals will be here. Fernando Mendoza is going to throw out the first pitch this Tuesday. So if you guys are you Fernando Mania fans out there, want to go see him, he's going to be throwing out the first pitch on Tuesday, April 20th.
If he hurt himself, it'd be kind of funny. I'm not.
Oh, no.
That's so bad, you Grinch.
I'm just saying it'd be a big news story.
Well, you guys, it's probably the cheapest ticket in town too, and there's really nothing going on at this point.
Surprised they charge.
Marlins game for $10 to sit in the bar in left field. Love it. That's what he said.
Yeah, no, it's great. So, all right, guys. Well, congratulations again to Kelly. Kelly, I'll be reaching out to you to reach out to you tomorrow to get your address. We'll coordinate delivery. So congratulations. And again, thank you to everyone who has supported Ian, whether it was cards, letters, prayers, the raffle. It means so much to him. Ian, I can't wait to see you tomorrow. We will be meeting up for lunch. I look forward to that. Mike, I miss you. Cannot wait to see you in person. You need to come down here. What do you have in your hand?
These are my cards.
All your cards?
Since the whole thing started, I keep them. Yeah, I keep them next to me.
They're so organized nicely. I got more. I have 4 in my car for you. So, all right, guys. And for those on the channel, give me a like. Give us a subscribe. Show me a little bit of love. I don't ask for much. I just help my buddy out, Ian, and give me a like or 2. So, guys.
Real quick, we'll come out with news on the next raffle because I know we got one for Webb
again.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, I actually have that right here. All right. Good thing you told me. I'm such a blonde airhead. All right, so then we have one more raffle for now until we get more items donated. But for sure, we have one more raffle that we're going to start on Monday of next week. And what do you guys think it is? You guessed it right. Richmond Webb. Richmond Webb has donated another jersey. And let me tell you, this jersey is Fuego Fire. And not just a jersey. You already know he signed it. Richmond Webb signed jersey. So we have that. And then also, what goes with the jersey? A beautiful picture of Richmond going against Bruce Smith. So and it's signed. So guys, this picture of Richmond going against Bruce Smith and this amazing signed Richmond Web jersey. Dun, 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 dun. Where's the one you need them? The whole thing's up. Can be yours. So starting on Monday. Monday's date is April 20th? 420.
Yes, yeah.
420. So for you guys who do extracurriculars, don't do your extracurricular on 420. Use that money to support Ian.
I'm allowed to because I have cancer and I have a medical card now, so I'm allowed to.
Between that and the Manscaped, this show's going to get a lot of I had to put it where the show is not suitable for kids. So, I'm going to lose viewership because it has to be not suited for kids.
When you shave the bushes, the tree stands taller.
So guys, on Monday, check all our social medias. It'll be mine and Ian's and Mike's, and we'll give you more details. It'll be the same format, and we'll run that to and Lou also said 420 Marino's final touchdown number. I did not know that.
He's doing the clean version.
Ricky Williams Holiday. Mike,
Ian, let them know where they can find you, just in case maybe they live underneath the rock or they're on 420. Let them know where they can find you. At
DolphinsTalk and at DolphinsTalk.com. Next week for the draft, we're going to be live Thursday and Friday. Big E's probably going to join us on Friday for a few minutes. We're going to be live on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to the Dolphins Talk YouTube channel. Myself, Tom, Josh, Aaron, Josh Moser, Seth Levitt, and many other people are going to be popping in and out. It's going to be 2 days of absolute laughs and fun because it's the draft. They're reading names off of index cards. People, yes, everyone's got their personal favorites. We don't know who's going to be good or not. Everyone puts out 10,000 mock drafts. I had it. No, you didn't. You had a 1 at 10. That didn't mean you have it. But we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be live Thursday and Friday. Make sure you're subscribed to the Dolphins Talk YouTube channel.
And Ian, where can they find you? What are you doing?
Twitter, Ian693. Instagram, Ian693 _ Facebook, Ian Space Berger. TikTok, I got something, I forget what my name is. I don't too much there, but I did a funny thing.
We do. You and I do a little bit on there. We tease on it a little bit.
The last thing I'll leave you with too, and I thought this was the coolest thing. We're out in the middle of the ocean watching an adult comedy club. I was there with the other family's dad, and walking in, and some guy's like, "Biggie, is that you?"
Stop it.
Yeah. He's like, "Man, I've been following you forever. Let me introduce you to my wife. I'm going to take a picture. My son is going to be absolutely floored that I met you on this ship." I'm like, dude, he's like, "And how are you?" That's his thing. He's like, "How are you?" That's a big thing. He posted on his social, and he doesn't have a lot of followers. He's got 60 followers, but he's from Central Florida. So I met an Orlando Miami Dolphins fan in the middle of the ocean, which I thought was the coolest thing.
How about that? I'm telling you, it's such a small world. Like, you just run into people and you just never know. So you have to be in your best behavior. And I mean, you're just a celebrity. So you just, So, guys, all right. Well, thank you to everyone who has. Oh, Paul said he's still waiting to meet you.
This year, Paul. Let's go. We're making it happen, buddy.
So, guys, I will come back next week on another episode. I'm not one to cover the draft big time, right? I'm just like, who we getting? Let's figure it out. But we're going to do some draft talk. And so stay tuned for that. There will be no Heat talk or Panthers talk. So the episodes are going to drastically get a little shorter. I apologize in advance, maybe not. But thanks again to everyone who has tuned in tonight. Mike, Ian, thanks for joining me. And congratulations again to Kelly for winning the raffle. Until next time, fins up.
Fins up, everybody.